Okay, get ready for this one. We're about to jump headfirst into a story where the main character, a human girl, is reborn as a spider. Yeah, you heard that right, a spider.
A pretty wild twist on the classic hero's journey.
Right.
It makes you think about what real strength actually is when everything you know is gone and you have to start over with, well, 8 legs.
Forget those grand quests and magical powers. This spider's first problem is just surviving in a dark cave full of monsters. Total sensory overload. And you really get a feel for that initial shock and disgust from the source material.
Her resilience is amazing. Instead of giving up, she adapts. Imagine having to eat a dead spider for just a little bit of strength. Talk about a harsh dose of reality.
That's what I love about this story. It doesn't shy away from the ugly stuff. And as she levels up, you see this incredible mix of resourcefulness and strategy.
She's basically playing a real-life RPG. She develops skills like thread control, to use webs in combat, heretic magic, which taps into some unusual powers, and even kin eater, a skill that lets her absorb the strength of other spiders.
Kin eater. That sounds kind of intense, but I guess you got to do what you got to do to survive, right?
But it's not just about brute force, it's her intelligence that really makes her stand out.
Absolutely. The way she uses her skills, figures out her opponents, and even uses the environment to her advantage is incredible. Remember that battle with the giant centipede? She set a trap using her threads and then finished it off with venom.
Pure genius. It's like she's constantly learning and evolving, taking her weaknesses and turning them into strengths.
And as she gets stronger, her enemies get tougher too. The source material throws some crazy challenges at her. A swarm of poisonous snakes, a huge earth dragon, even terrifying catfish monsters hiding in underground lakes. Every encounter pushes her to her absolute limit, and we can't forget that fight against the monkey where she loses half of her abdomen. The imagery in that scene is brutal, but it shows just how resilient and adaptable she is.
It proves how much she wants to live. And through all these battles, she goes through some incredible transformations. From a tiny spider, she evolves into a small pterodactyl, which is basically a bigger, stronger spider. And then eventually, she reaches the Zoe L. pterodactyl form. She becomes a truly fearsome predator.
These evolutions aren't just physical changes. They show how much she's grown in every way. The way she plans, adapts her fighting style, and starts figuring out the secrets of this new world.
And it all comes back to that idea of a human reincarnated as a spider. It's a journey of self-discovery, resilience, and understanding what strength really means.
It's a story that hooks you right away and just keeps getting more interesting. But while our spider is fighting to survive in this dark, unforgiving labyrinth, there's another story going on in the human world.
You're right. We meet these other reincarnated humans, including Shun, a prince who seems destined for greatness. It's a stark contrast to the spider's harsh reality, highlighting themes of privilege and how different their experiences are.
While Shun is busy learning swordsmanship and getting ready for a prophesied war against the Demon Lord, our spider is literally fighting for her life against giant monsters, evolving into something humans can barely understand.
This parallel storyline adds a whole new layer to the story. It makes you wonder, will their paths cross? And what will happen when these two worlds collide? Makes you think, our spider is down there fighting for her life in that labyrinth, and these human reincarnates are living totally different lives. No clue about what she's going through.
Totally, it's like they're in separate worlds. She's facing giant monsters and turning into something way beyond human, and they're going to school, learning magic, preparing for this big war with the Demon Lord. Talk about a culture clash waiting to happen.
That's what's so cool about this story. It makes you think about different points of view and what really defines strength. Is it physical power or strategy or just that will to survive when everything's stacked against you?
Good point. It's like comparing apples and oranges, but
yeah.
Let's stick with the human world for a bit. We've got Shun, the reincarnated prince. He seems like your classic hero in training. Good heart, strong sense of justice, amazing with a sword.
Yeah, Shun's definitely the noble hero type, loyal companions, wise mentors, getting ready to fulfill his destiny. But even in this seemingly perfect world, there are some cracks showing.
Oh yeah, there's always drama, even in fantasy. We've got Hugo, the other prince, totally jealous of Shun's popularity and power. All his scheming and sabotage attempts add another layer of conflict to the story.
Hugo's character really shows the flaws of human nature, that desire for power and attention, even if it means hurting others. It's a big contrast to the spider's fight for survival, where it's all about her.
And then there's Katya, another reincarnated student. She's got incredible magic. At first, she seems like a rival to Shun, but as the story goes on, their relationship changes. It's interesting how their rivalry eventually becomes like a grudging respect.
Kati is a great character because she challenges that idea of pure good versus evil. She's ambitious, driven, does whatever it takes to reach her goals, but she's not really evil. It's like being reincarnated has stripped away some of her humanity, made her more practical or even ruthless.
Hey, don't forget about Faye, Shun's close friend. Turns out he's the reincarnation of a powerful dragon. Talk about a hidden power. It shows that you can't judge a book by its cover in this world.
Faye transforming is a huge turning point in the story. It shows how deep this world really is and adds a layer of surprise to everything. It makes you wonder who else might have a secret identity or a hidden power.
Absolutely, but while the humans are dealing with their own drama and power struggles, the spider is making some major discoveries in the labyrinth. Remember how she got that taboo skill?
Yes, the taboo skill. There have been hints about it, but we don't really get what it means until later. It gives her access to forbidden knowledge, secrets about the world that most beings aren't supposed to know.
And this isn't just random trivia. It's important for understanding the bigger picture. Like, she learns about the system that controls their world, the one that gives out skills and governs reincarnation. It's like she's peeling back the layers of reality itself.
Exactly. And with that knowledge comes a sense of responsibility. She realizes she might be the only one who can stop a disaster that's coming.
That's a lot to handle for anyone, let alone a spider, who started out just trying to survive. It adds a whole new level to her journey. It's not just about her personal growth anymore. It's about the fate of the whole world.
And as she dives deeper into this forbidden knowledge, she uncovers a shocking truth. The world is heading towards destruction. The system that controls reincarnation is messed up, leading to an imbalance of power and, eventually, the end of everything.
Wow, talk about high stakes. But what can she do about it? She's still trapped in that labyrinth, facing even more dangerous monsters? How could she possibly save the world?
Well, this is where things get even more interesting. Remember Admin D, that mysterious entity who's been watching over her?
Yeah, the one who gave her a smartphone. That was pretty weird.
Admin D is a key player in this part of the story. She shows up again, and they can't really talk because of the language barrier. But the smartphone works as a translator, so they can share some important information.
So what's the deal with Admin D? Is she a friend, an enemy, or something else entirely?
That's a question that hangs over the whole story. She says she's amused by the spider's struggles, but she also seems to be guiding her in subtle ways, gives cryptic hints, sometimes steps in to help, but we never really know what she's up to.
It's like she's playing some cosmic game with a spider's life. Fascinating and a little creepy.
Exactly. And as the spider learns more about the world's impending doom, she realizes that Admin D might be the only way to stop it. But can she trust this mysterious entity? What will she have to give up to get Admin D's help?
The tension is building, right? The spider's dealing with this new knowledge and responsibility. The human reincarnates are preparing for war. And Admin D is pulling strings behind the scenes. Like, all these different threads are coming together for one massive showdown.
It's an amazing mix of action, mystery, and philosophical questions. And as we head into the final part of the story, you'll see how all of this comes together for a truly epic climax.
We're back, and things are about to get real. Our spider has forbidden knowledge. The human world's on the edge of a demon invasion, and Admin D, well, she's still a mystery. So what happens now?
Well, as the spider is getting ready to enter the human world, we shift back to Shun, who's training to fight the demon lord. His mentor, Master Ronant, tells him a pretty chilling story about his own encounter with a terror attack in the labyrinth 15 years ago.
Terror attack. Sounds scary. What's that all about?
Imagine a monster, pure chaos, so powerful it almost wiped out Ronant's whole team. They barely escaped alive, and Ronant lost an arm in the fight.
That puts things in perspective. If a seasoned adventurer like Ronant barely survived one of these terror attacks, imagine what Shun's up against. This demon lord must be insanely strong.
Exactly. It shows just how big the challenges are. But while Shun's getting ready for war, the spider's escape from the labyrinth isn't easy. Remember how obsessed she was with beating Erebba, the strongest monster in that whole underground world?
Oh yeah, she was determined to prove herself, to conquer the toughest challenge there.
Yeah.
It was almost like a personal thing for her.
And that battle was epic. She used everything she had, manipulating the terrain, setting traps with her webs, unleashing crazy magic attacks. But Erebba was a tough opponent, regenerating from injuries that would kill anything else.
And don't forget the annihilating evil eye. That was her ultimate weapon, but it took a lot out of her.
It was a risky move, drained her life force, almost killed her, but it let her land a critical hit on Erebba. And then, surprisingly, Ereba, seeing how strong and determined she was, surrenders instead of fighting to the death.
That's a powerful moment, right? It shows that even in this brutal world where it's kill or be killed, there's still some respect. But it also shows how much the spider wants to be strong, even if it hurts her.
And even though she achieved her goal, she's left feeling empty. Like she wants an even bigger challenge, almost like she's addicted to the fight, always needing to push herself further.
It makes you wonder if she can ever find peace, or if she's always going to be looking for danger and conflict.
Right, but before she can even think about that, her taboo skill hits level 10, unlocks a whole new level of knowledge, and reveals a shocking truth. The world is going to be destroyed.
Oh.
This is where Admin D comes back in. Remember that smartphone she gave the spider? It acts as a translator so they can actually talk. And through their conversations, it becomes clear that Admin D isn't just watching. She's powerful, capable of changing things.
So she's not just watching the show, she's directing it. That's a little creepy, to say the least.
It makes you think about free will and destiny. Does the spider have any control over her own life, or is she just a pawn in Admin D's game?
That's mind-blowing, but what about the Demon Lord and that invasion? Did Shun and the human reincarnate stop it?
As the spider is about to enter the human world, the Demon Lord's forces attack. Shun and the other reincarnated humans bravely face this massive demonic army. The final battle is huge, a desperate fight for survival against impossible odds.
So it all comes down to this, good versus evil. But where does the spider fit in?
That's the big question as the story ends. We see her coming into the human world, a world on the brink of chaos. But we don't know what part she'll play in the final conflict.
It's a cliffhanger for sure, leaves you wanting more. But it also shows how powerful this story is. It started with a simple idea, human reborn as a spider. But it went so much deeper, exploring survival, evolution, identity, the nature of reality itself.
It challenged our ideas about heroism, made us think about what true strength means when you're facing the worst possible situations. And it left us with some big questions.
Yeah, like, what does it mean to be human? Can we break free from our physical limits? And are we really in control of our own lives? Or are we just playing our part in some grand cosmic story?
Those are questions that stay with you. And that's what makes a story truly great.
So what do you say? Ready for another deep dive into some more extraordinary stories?
Always up for an adventure. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep an open mind to the possibilities that are out there.